All right, welcome everybody to another HS2 seminar. I'm your host, Patrick. I'm the VP for Counseling for HS2 Academy. And tonight you are in for a treat. We have three wonderful guests tonight who are current sophomores at Harvard University. And they're here to share their experiences about Harvard and hopefully share some of their experiences and some of their tips to you in terms of, what the experience is like. And hopefully maybe they can share some advice about getting into Harvard. That'd be amazing. So let me go ahead and introduce them. So we have tonight Ella Dotzler, Matthew Pantaleo, and Claire Pack. Hopefully I pronounced all your names right. And yeah, so with that, I will hand it off to, I guess, Ella, do you want to kick it off or?
Yeah, sounds great. Thank you for the
Awesome.
lovely introduction.
All
Let me
right.
just get situated here. Can everyone see my screen okay? I guess no one can really respond, but sounds good. Okay, so yeah, we are just gonna give kind of an overview on kind of the insider scoop of Harvard life, whether that's perspective on campus or just kind of outside of campus, any type of culture that's related to Harvard. So we are gonna go over that. Let me move. So a quick agenda, we'll start with a little icebreaker. I guess we can't really interact with you guys too well, so we might skip over that one. We'll do a quick little intro for all of us, move into housing, academics, academic clubs, athletic clubs, social clubs, the arts. Then we'll talk a little bit about what we do on the Crimson Business Board, which is the organization that all three of us are from at the Harvard Crimson. Then we'll move into kind of an introduction to the summer opportunity that hopefully you guys have heard a little bit about, the internship opportunity. And then we'll move into a Q&A finally. All right, so I'll pass it off to Claire for an introduction.
Awesome. Thanks, Ella. Hi, everyone. I'm Claire, and I'm a sophomore at Harvard studying economics and government. Aside from, school, of course, on campus, I'm heavily involved on the business board of the Harvard Crimson, which is our school's newspaper, as well as the law review. And outside of extracurriculars in schools, I also really enjoy playing club sports, going on hikes, and also exploring new restaurants around the square.
Perfect. Thank you, Claire. So my name's Ella Dotzler. I'm also a sophomore living in Leverett House. We'll talk a little bit more about what that means in a little bit. I'm studying government and maybe adding history in there. I'm still kind of playing around with that idea. Yeah, I serve as one of the programs managers on the Crimson Business Board, and off campus, I love to just kind of explore Boston, try new foods, and go to a lot of like ballet performances. That's my big thing lately.
All right, I guess I will go up next. My name is Matthew. I'm also one of the programs managers at the Harvard Crimson. I'm sophomore studying philosophy and economics. Outside of the Harvard Crimson, I'm a part of the Charles River Growth Fund as the chief financial officer, which is one of our LS equity funds here on Harvard's campus. Outside of that, I love to explore Boston and attend sports games in the Boston area. So with that being said, I will hand it back to Claire.
Thanks, Matthew. Uh, Awesome. So starting off with a little glimpse of academics at Harvard, a little bit more about Harvard. So Harvard is a liberal arts college, but it's also a world-class research university. And what's great about the mix of both of those is that there's so much freedom, so much flexibility, and such a wide breadth of opportunities available here. And you can really have, the freedom to pursue and study what you're most interested in. And, what's great about Harvard is that, I came into college being very interested in, government and history, but since then, at Harvard, I've also been able to explore more of the quantitative sides of my interest through, economics and different life sciences as well. So that's really interesting. And there's so many options when it comes to pursuing what degree you want to pursue. Here we call our majors concentrations, and we have over 50 different concentrations or undergraduate fields of studies. And what's great about Harvard is that there's also so many different classes that you could take, whether it's in the fall semester or the spring semester. There's roughly, 3,700 different courses, ranging all the way from, science classes, history classes to, different divisional distribution classes as well. And so I'm happy to, talk more about that later if people are interested in that. But just the flexibility of courses available here has been truly one of the most exciting parts of attending Harvard.
Yeah, and so when you get to Harvard, you will be placed in one of 17 freshman houses. And so when you come, you will be given a form, you will fill it out, and you'll be kind of randomly assigned roommates, ranging from potentially one roommate to all the way potentially to seven roommates. So you have a very exciting opportunity to really engage with a lot of different people of different backgrounds here at Harvard. And so living at one of these seven freshman dorms in Harvard, you really create a very tight-knit community, given that you are split up into entryways, which are a small subset of groups of rooms that are in your dorm. And so you really get to interact with these students, really a lot of one-on-one time, and really get to make new friends here. And so within every entryway, you have a resident proctor. And so this is just potentially, this might be a graduate student, might be an upperclassman that is able to facilitate, you coming to Harvard and getting comfortable with the community. In addition to that, you are given peer advising fellows. And so these typically are encompassed with upperclassmen, so seniors who have been at the college for a long time and are able to provide resources and support with your transition to Harvard as a freshman. These dormitories range in various layouts, and so me and Claire actually, funny enough, lived in the same dorm freshman year, Hollis, which typically is a doubles dorm. However, you have a dormitory such as Matthews, which is pictured in the middle here, where you have potentially up to three roommates between three rooms. So you really get to explore, many different, living styles, and you get to preface that, before you come into Harvard. And so every freshman, in addition, dines in Annenberg Hall, which is many people refer to as our Harry Potter dining hall. And so here it's a pretty massive dining hall. All freshman students eat here only, and so it's a really nice, time to really interact with people that you might not see in your own dorm, might not see in your own classes, and really is a great community building place for freshmen.
Perfect. Yeah. And then, so obviously the freshman house system is a little bit different, but then we move into kind of your upperclassmen housing system. So yeah, you get to know a lot of people during freshman year, and then about halfway through, you end up choosing this thing called a blocking group. This can be up to 7 other people that you want to live with to form a group of 8. And this guarantees that you'll be in kind of the same house as them, not necessarily the same dorm room, though you can choose to do that if you'd like to. But it kind of ensures that you're in the same community with them in the future. So that's pretty nice that once you kind of find your friend group freshman year, you can move into your upperclassmen years with that same kind of core group living in your house. Harvard overall has 12 residential houses. We have, I believe, 9 on the river is what we call it, and then we have 3 in the quad. Claire and Matthew are actually both in the quad. Quad is just a little bit further away from campus, so it's kind of a running on-campus joke that no one really likes the quad. So yeah, Leverett, the house that I'm in, is a river house. It's pretty good. A lot of people end up in doubles. Yes, some people do have housing preferences. Some people just like either want to be in one location, or a lot of people just really care about, sorry about the lights here. A lot of people just really care about kind of staying on campus with their friends. But yeah, that is kind of an overview of the sophomore to senior housing system.
Awesome. And moving on to Harvard Housing Day. And so as a freshman, as Ella and Matthew were explaining, this is when you find out which upperclassman house that you get placed in. But then, now as sophomores, all 3 of us actually had the opportunity to be on the other side of, announcing what houses the freshmen get into. And so Harvard Housing Day usually happens in March, right before spring break. And this is when upperclassmen actually go into, the dorms of the freshmen. We all group in our housing communities. And so Matthew and I, both as residents of Cabot House, we made, signs, as you can see in some of these photos. We made signs of Cabot House, and we got the letters from the school, and then we went to the different dorms and announced to the freshmen which house that they got. So it's always a very exciting, very lively morning. There's a lot of anticipation in the air as the freshmen are waiting to see if they get a river view for the next 3 years, or if they'll be in the quad with Matthew and I. But it's definitely a big highlight. It was so much fun in freshman year, just knowing where I'll be spending my sophomore through senior years. And then of course, like, it was so much fun being on the other end of things and actually being able to, surprise some of my friends, with what houses that they get. And so what's really fun about housing day as well is that, the week leading up to it and even the night leading up to it, the entire house, whatever house community you're a part of, we all gather to make the posters together. We all celebrate by, decorating baked goods and, just having a lot of livelihood, a lot of cheerfulness to spread to the freshmen for the next day.
Yeah, and outside of academics, Harvard's also known for its various organizations, whether it's academic clubs, athletic clubs, social clubs, and other avenues, exploration at Harvard. So I will pass it back to Ella to talk about kind of the extracurriculars we offer here at Harvard.
Yeah, thanks, Matt. So I'll just give kind of a brief overview of kind of the three groupings that we chose to talk about offerings of clubs. So yeah, we are home to over 500 organizations, and that probably grows every single day as people develop new interests and kind of want to start their own initiatives. Kind of a broad overview of academic clubs. This can range from like academic and pre-professional clubs. So all three of us work at the Harvard Crimson Business Board, which is considered like a pre-professional club. We kind of run the business here, which is pretty fun. This can also be like creative and performing arts clubs, government and politics, and maybe media and publications. Then, which the Crimson also falls under that category, funnily enough. For athletic clubs, this could be kind of club sports teams, and we have kind of different levels. There's like obviously varsity, and then there's just kind of the more fun intramural clubs that each of our houses actually have a team for, which is a really good way to kind of grow your house community. We also have like health and wellness clubs, and as I said earlier, like recreational sports. Then for social clubs, we have a lot of community orgs here that kind of focus on different elements of your identity that you maybe want to focus on, or just kind of identify with others who share that in a similar capacity. But yeah, we will move into this on a little bit greater depth moving forward.
Awesome. So diving a little bit more into academic clubs, Harvard has such a wide plethora of opportunities here. And so that really speaks to also the diverse range of different, interests that people at Harvard have. And so these extracurriculars range from different pre-professional clubs, whether those are finance clubs, consulting clubs, ranging under that bucket, all the way to different, environmental and sustainability related organizations as well. And so the Harvard Crimson Business Board, or the Harvard Crimson, would sort of fall under that bucket as well, which, all three of us are a part of, as Ella mentioned. And then there are also numerous government-based clubs here on campus, such as, Harvard Model Congress, as well as the Institute of Politics. And under that, if you're interested in, increasing voter awareness, anything like that, definitely recommend checking out the Institute of Politics. All of these clubs, what's so special and unique about these academic clubs is that, they're directly student-led. And so what's cool about that is you're able to meet other students that hold the same interests, and you're able to really grow alongside people that, offer different, ways of thinking. And, that's been such a great experience just because you come together with this joint interest, but you're able to grow collectively through, the differences and ideas. And so joining academic clubs has definitely been, one of my favorite parts of being, on campus and being a student here. And what's great is that you're able to, connect with so many people that you wouldn't have met otherwise. And I've been able to make a lot of my really close friends, including, the people on the Zoom right now. So definitely recommend checking out some of these academic clubs. And you can, search them up on Harvard's website as well. And so if you're interested in anything, definitely try searching it up. And I'm sure, there's something up there on the website. And if there isn't a club that already exists, then, that's the great part too. You can create your own, club oriented around whatever your interest may be.
Of course, in addition to academic clubs here at Harvard, we also have various athletic clubs. And so these take, form in different ways. So whether it's club sports, where it's club basketball, club golf, which I'm a part of, club football, club rugby, you have a lot of sports for people that come from all backgrounds. And you don't need to have ever played that sport to ever be involved with the club sport. Obviously a lot of the sports here are, recreational, are for fun. And so a lot of the members on that team are more than happy to welcome you in, even if you come to practice once a week, it's a great time to, just hang out, try something new at Harvard. and enjoy it. So it really ranges from basketball to archery to dance, really have the opportunity to explore anywhere. In addition, we also have intramural house sports. And so this is where when you are a upperclassman, so a sophomore and above, you are placed into your house for the rest of college. There are dedicated sports teams for that house. So whether it's Lowell soccer or Capit volleyball, which are just the two of the names of houses here at Harvard, where it just gives another additional layer of community building here at Harvard. And so this is a great chance to interact with students from other schools. Sometimes Harvard rugby plays other schools within the Boston area, so it's really a great opportunity to get outside the Harvard ecosystem as well too. In addition to that, Harvard has two fitness centers, which are called the Mac and Hemingway Gym, and so they host various machines, weightlifting equipment, and athletic courts. The Mac, I believe, has a squash court, and Hemingway has various other amenities as well too. And so really have the opportunity to get outside the academic focus and be able to kind of focus on more health, which is always a fantastic break from sometimes the stress here at Harvard, to kind of find another outlet just to maintain yourself, a healthy mind, a healthy body, healthy mind. So it's just another great avenue for success here.
Perfect. Yeah. And then moving into kind of our last category, which is social clubs. Talked about this a little bit earlier, but we just have a ton of affinity groups. And if there aren't groups that kind of fit your identity, you can obviously make that. And Harvard is like very, very accommodating for anyone who really wants to start an affinity group. So yeah, whether it be like religious or spiritual identity, gender identity. I know, like, for me, I'm from a state that doesn't send a ton of students to Harvard every year. I'm from Minnesota. And we have like a Minnesota group where we just kind of get together every couple of months and go to dinner or do something together. So it could be pretty formal, or it could be very, very informal, where you're just kind of getting together and hanging out with a group of people that you have something in common with, which is pretty fun. Yeah, all these groups are very, very warm and welcoming. I've never met someone who has had a bad experience with an affinity group here. So yeah, that is something to note. It is hard moving to campus, especially if you live kind of far away. So just know that if you do come to Harvard, like, identity will be welcomed, and there are a lot of spaces for you to join here.
Next, delving in a little bit into the arts at Harvard. So whether you have, zero experience with arts like me, I'm not very great at drawing, or, if that's your passion, there's definitely ways to explore art on campus and just the artistic sides on campus. And so what's great about Harvard is that there's actually the Harvard Art Museum's located, right on campus. It's around, a 4-minute walk from where a lot of our classes are. And there are actually classes also held within the art museums. And so it's great that you're able to, directly engage with, looking through the museums or the art pieces that Harvard has to offer on a daily basis. And then, in terms of intersections with classes, some subject areas that might fall under this category include, media, music, film, visual arts, architecture, as well as some other items such as, dance, creative writing, and so on. And so, the Harvard Art Museums is definitely, one of my favorite spots on campus, just to, take a little relaxing breather. And whether it's to check out the different pieces or the artworks, there's often, like, every month a different exhibit that, the art museum decides to highlight. And so that's always a really exciting area to check out on campus, or, sometimes just taking a little breather and getting my work done there, going with friends, going with family. It's definitely a really exciting spot on campus for sure.
Perfect. And that brings me to at least a biased view of my favorite extracurricular here on Harvard's campus, which is the Harvard Crimson Business Board. And so we are responsible financially supporting the Harvard Crimson day in and day out. We really pride ourselves on giving the Harvard Crimson the independency from the university to ensure that we remain an organization where future journalists can really explore their interests, in addition to people who are interested in the field of business can really explore that without needing any previous background. And so we pride ourselves very much on that fact, where we are in charge of keeping our operating budget, which is we have around $1.1 million in operating assets, and we tend to carry a lot of money in revenue as well too. So we really pride ourselves on that. And so our business segments lie in three manners, which is first advertising, marketing services, and global programs, which is us. And so starting with advertising, associates who are staffed on that department are tasked with selling advertisement slots to potential clients that will be placed, whether it's in our print newspaper, our digital website, social media. And so it's a really exciting opportunity to get a lot of one-on-one time with really high-end clients. We have a lot of clients ranging from Amazon to Uber Eats to D.E. Shaw, which is a big financial firm here in the East Coast. So you really have the opportunity to really engage with a lot of clients and sign some pretty tremendous deals. We have a lot of deals that tend to be 5-6 digits plus, and so you really get that responsibility from day one. In addition, marketing, which is responsible for carrying out some of the products that are sold by our advertising team. So we have something called sponsored content that we sometimes sell to clients, and so this is a narrative story that is published on the Harvard Crimson's website that kind of overviews what the company is trying to send out to the Harvard community. And so our marketing team works with them hand in hand to either create the graphics, create the language, create the copy, to ensure that that story, it really resonates with readers. And we have been very fortunate enough to win various awards on the collegiate press, given our SponCons and our tremendous work. And so lastly, that brings us up to programs, which Claire, Elle, and I are very fortunate to be a part of. And so we are the educational arm of the Crimson Business Board, where we host competitions and conferences based on journalism and business. And so we really pride ourselves on giving the accessibility to education to anybody. I think that's a fundamental mission we all believe in. And so it's been a very exciting year. We have hosted, various conferences. We actually have a conference coming up tomorrow. It's our first native conference of the year. And so Clara and I, obviously, a lot of stress that comes with that, but a lot of excitement to see the kids, really kind of see the work that we've been, building up for the past couple of months, and really see the kids really learn from that engagement. And so it's just been a fantastic opportunity. Claire, Elle, and I can speak a lot more to it, but you really get the responsibility from a very young age. And so in my opinion, it's the best extracurricular you can do on Harvard's campus.
Perfect. Yeah. And then we'll kind of close out this section with just kind of an overview of like why should you do extracurricular activities at Harvard? Because obviously this is at its core an academic institution that the classes are definitely hard, but one thing I will say is I've probably gotten more out of my extracurricular opportunities than I have out of my classes. I've obviously learned quite a bit from my professors, and they're wonderful. And I definitely learn a lot every single day here, but I would say the most kind of real tangible skills have come from my extracurriculars, specifically, honestly, the Crimson, just learning kind of those business skills. So yeah, you'll see on this slide, it says like leadership, character, teamwork, and diligence. I do believe this is something you can learn outside of extracurriculars, but I think this is a great way, especially if you join a pre-professional organization on campus, to really kind of practice these real life, whether it be business or law or medicine skills, like any field, any arena that you want to get into, and just actually dedicate yourself to a mission outside of just education. And yeah, it really teaches you to work. Most orgs here will have like a sample leadership structure that you can kind of move up and work with others. It teaches you how to manage people below you. It teaches you how to kind of overcome interpersonal conflicts in a lot of these kind of unique spaces that prepare you for the workforce later on. So I would say if you have the opportunity at any college, not just Harvard, just really try and focus on joining extracurriculars that you think are suited. All right, and then we will move into just kind of a brief overview of what we're looking at this summer. So the Crimson is partnering with the HS2 this summer to kind of create this summer internship program. Hopefully, if you guys are familiar with HS2, which I'm sure all of you are, we did run one in the winter. This one will look a little bit different though. So our plan right now, and more registration information will be coming soon on HS2's website. We're just working on finalizing all of kind of the last wrap-up details. But we'll be running kind of 2 virtual sessions, getting you guys prepared for some journalism activities. And then during the week of June 17th through the 21st, you'll actually have the opportunity to come on campus, and you'll be working with one of our Harvard Crimson journalists, and you'll be kind of shadowing them. So we're going to give you kind of your own article topic. You get to kind of pick and choose something that's either on or around Harvard's campus, and you get to work one-on-one with a real Harvard journalist and kind of create your own pieces there. So yeah, it'll be kind of a week of mentorship, definitely a good resume builder, but also just a really good opportunity to talk one-on-one and get really close to a Harvard student who could become a mentor later on. So yeah, I would be happy to answer questions about that. Otherwise, I will turn it back over to Patrick.
All right, thank you so much. Yeah, this is wonderful information. And yes, if you are interested in the Crimson internship, we will have the information on our website. If you're a current student at HS2, you can also, of course, ask your counselor at HS2, and they can give you that information. They can pass that along to you. All right. So if you have any questions for